Instagram, it's going to be a little weird. You can see me live stream, but you cannot really hear Bethany. So if you want a better view of me versus on Twitch, you can watch me here. So, yeah.
Alrighty. It's our official. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. We were on our starting soon screen.
Woohoo!
So thank you. We appreciate
I love our
you.
Twitch days. I'm going to be honest.
I know. I look forward to it. So today's stream. First of all, y'all have been blowing up our last Twitch stream that we uploaded onto YouTube. It is like on and popping. Every time I check it, has more views, so that's cool. I'm glad we started doing YouTube. And then I went and made it, and it looks super generic, but we're getting
Hey,
there.
Steph.
Heyo, what is up?
Steph meet Bethany. Bethany meets Stephanie. It's like my two best friends.
I hear a lot of thank you so much. It's fading, but she's there. I hear a lot.
I think I need like kitty cat.
Oh,
sounds like you.
I like them. It was just these, and then these are actually attachments. These don't come with it.
I like them.
Anyways, if you missed our last two Twitch streams, you can go check out our YouTube channel, which is Bayou Chronicles Podcast. Crystal is in charge of uploading all of our podcasts on there that are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and then I am in charge of like uploading our Twitch streams. So both of those are on there. Our first one was us talking about Michael Jackson. And then our second one, we talked about the correlation between cave systems, national parks, and missing persons. Crystal did a really good job doing that. So those are both over on YouTube.
And I'm slacking on transferring the podcast over to YouTube because it takes like 12 years.
I don't think people that not everybody has a YouTube channel, so they won't know. But it takes hours to upload the video, and then it has to process, and then it has to upload again. So it's a long process. So
okay, so I'll be honest. For me, the uploading part does not take very long. It probably takes me maybe 20 minutes, if that, to upload it. But what takes so long is putting our little, I don't know what you would call it, the little background. I have to attach that to all pieces of the audio. And in order for a video to not be taken down off of YouTube, it has to be moving at least every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to set it to refresh every 30 seconds, but then attach that to like an hour and a half worth of audio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I have to attach it in 30-second increments. That takes the longest part. So that's why it takes me so long.
It's a love of labor, guys. So we're getting this info out to you for those of you that can't make it to the Twitch stream. It's on YouTube, and it looks great. Crystal does great. Our thumbnail, that's what she meant to say.
Thumbnail, yeah, that's the word.
The thumbnail looked awesome. It looks good. But today's stream, we're going to be talking about, it's basically conspiracy, because reading through some of it, I was like, these people are like grasping for straws, because some of these are just like outlandish. So we're going to classify it. I can air quote because you guys can see us. I know we talk about this a lot on the podcast, but y'all can't see us. Conspiracy of whether celebrities. Oh, thank you so much for the host, James. I really appreciate it. Live and Liddy, yes, that is my brother-in-law. Like a titty.
Like a titty.
Yes.
So that's just like our description.
It is. I mean, it's pretty spot on. And I have our merch shirt on today. If you guys can see it.
Mine's dirty, and I don't really have the water pressure to do laundry. So
I purposely waited till today to wash it because I knew it would get dirty or something. And then like Crystal said, we can't do laundry right now, so it's here. She's here. But anyways, we're getting to it. We're gonna talk about the correlation between all these allegations, basically, and that's what it is. There's not any like rock solid evidence. of if celebrities, so like think of your favorite celebrity out there, are cloning themselves. And it's like some of it's more than cloning. Like me and Crystal like went down the rabbit hole. I know she did, and it like even goes into like talking about the Illuminati and just like lizard men. I'm gonna talk about it later on, but like it wasn't all cloning. Like some people think they're aliens and they're like wearing flesh suits, and there's some strange. I mean, I know me and Crystal like conspiracies, but when I was reading some of these, I was like, these people, like, they for real? Like, are they? This is what they're doing right now. They say it a lot about politicians. Yes, I mean, I didn't in my notes. I don't have very many politicians because I feel like me and Crystal already like talk about that enough on the podcast. And
We're not trying to get political.
yeah, but yes, I did see a lot. There was a whole Reddit thread about Bill Clinton being a lizardman, and definitely Hillary Clinton. Which, anyways, I promised we wouldn't talk about politics here on Twitch. But yes, isn't yep. I did hear Elon Musk. I didn't. But it was like he was a good alien. I don't know if that makes a difference. Apparently, there's like bad and good clones out there, and I kept saying that Elon Musk was a good one. So good for him. Good for him for being classified as the good one. Oh, and we already talked about it in the last episode we recorded, but thank you guys so much for 1,000 downloads over on Apple and Spotify. I know I keep going all over the place, but I have it in my notes because I wanted to make sure to thank all of you guys, and even the ones of you that go and watch on YouTube. We really, really appreciate all the views and the downloads and the subs. And after you guys watch this Twitch stream, if you want to head over and drop us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify, we would really, really, really appreciate it, because it kind of helps the algorithm and it lets people know and recommends us to people out there when they are searching for podcasts. So thank you guys for the ones that have, and thank you if you do go and drop one.
And I think it's a huge thing to mention too that downloads does not necessarily mean streams.
It doesn't.
So that means a lot more of you who don't actually press the download button. That just means we have 1,000 people who have, or 1,000 people times the download button has been clicked. So that means we probably have way more streams than that. Because I never download podcasts, so I know there's other people out there. So just thank you in general for listening.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was pretty cool. We're actually like 2 away, I think, from 1,100 or so.
2.
Yeah. But okay, so the thing, and I feel like everybody when they're doing conspiracy talks about the Illuminati and stuff. And that when I was doing all this research, that is like the organization that kept getting mentioned, like the group, you know, all the people in the dark robes running around and delegating stuff to everybody, and it was the Illuminati. Podcast.
Yes and no. It's one of the only ways that we can see who is like listening. Streaming definitely helps. The longer that you stream helps. I know for like Spotify doesn't count their streams unless you've listened to like the first like 60 seconds of it. But downloads is one of the only way that we can see what people are doing. Yeah, downloading and subscribing. Those are the only ways that we can really.
And we don't really know our sub count except for like literally going on and seeing how many of y'all have left us 5-star reviews, because the system that we use, it takes the last 3 episodes we've put out and it averages how many of y'all downloaded it on the first couple of days. So it's kind of like a guessing game, but I mean, we still appreciate it, and if you do want to download, that's the numbers we're giving to y'all. Okay, so this was an interesting thing. Do you remember when I was telling you there was a movie that they said the Illuminati like franchise like made, like wanted out into the public, called The Island? Did I tell you about that?
No.
I've never seen it. I've never seen this movie. It was from like 2005. And it's called The Island, and it was like a futuristic. Uh, which one has been the most popular? Our very
Podcast?
our episode.
I think it's the first one.
Our very
The
first.
very first one.
It's just shy of hitting 200 downloads by itself. So.
And I think the one after that is Kelly and Babe.
Or it might be Toy
I
Box
can go
Killer.
look. It's Toy Box Killer.
Something happened because Toy Box Killer jumped like 30 or 40 in like a day. Something was out there in the universe helping us. It was manifesting.
I wonder if it got put on one of the sites, like Kelly and Bates got put on. Like, you know, I told you it got put on one of those sites that was like the top 10 podcast about Kelly and Bates.
And we were we were number 2. Like, weren't we number 3?
We were 3. It was crazy.
What? That's so cool. And I'm lame, and I put it anywhere I can. So I also like upload our episodes to my Pinterest. I have a Pinterest board for our podcast for the hopes, you know, somebody
we
clicks
need
on
a
it.
TikTok. Somewhere together.
I know. We haven't been together in so long. The stupid storm and COVID and just life. Yuck. But I went to look up this movie called The Island or whatever, and I guess you can watch it. I'll probably end up watching it. You know how I am. But all the links that were attached to it, it was like people making YouTube videos about how the Illuminati is involved, and they're snatching people up and they're cloning them, and they're like they're keeping celebrities against their will. And all the links that I tried to click on, the YouTube channels were removed. They were like non-existent, and I was like, "This is suspicious."
Is it one with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson?
Yes, it has like them on the front cover together, and it's like not like it's like a beach in the background or something.
Oh, it takes place in 2019.
Oh. Well, yeah, it's actually an older movie. They did it in 2005, but I think the original was like in the 60s, 50s or something.
80s.
It's that, yeah. You can only do one spectacle. Michael Clark Duncan. Oh, he's a cutie. If he's who I'm thinking of.
Okay, well, we have to buy it on somewhere. You can rent it on Amazon Prime, it looks like.
Okay, I think that's where I saw it or somewhere. Because
I'm already going to have to buy the movie for the McDonald's massacre case that we're doing. I'm going to have to buy that one. It's not free.
It's not free anymore?
No, it's like $1.99.
What? I remember the last time my mom, or maybe last Christmas when my mom came to visit, we watched it. It was free. They keep doing that to us. Coffee from Green Mountain. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, and he just recently passed away, actually. But it said that movie, the original one from the 80s, like the whole plot of it was financed, and the idea came from the Illuminati. So that was kind of odd. That's a big allegation. But like for an organization that wants to be kept a secret, like why would they admit to that and what they're doing? Or if maybe they're just ballsy. Maybe they don't.
Hey, I mean,
maybe they don't care.
It kind of goes back to some of the videos that I made you watch on cloning last night, or I sent you. I don't know if you watched them, but
I did, and I also went and rewatched where we cloned the sheep Dolly. Or is it a sheep?
Yes. Well, it's one of several animals that we've cloned.
Which was so sad because she didn't really have a life because they put her on in that museum or whatever exhibit for people to come look at her. I only think she lived a little bit, a couple of years. I only got 2 or so.
I don't know. I didn't look up Dolly because I was more intrigued by human cloning than I was animal cloning.
But the reason I keep saying some of this is like way off in left field and definitely conspiracy theories and allegations, but I still read it because it was entertaining and I liked it. A lot of the allegations about these celebrities being clones derive from their looks. But like, how many celebrities do we know that when they first came into the spotlight looked nothing like they do now? Because they've had so much plastic surgery. That's nothing to them. I do you, boo. But like,
I would totally get plastic surgery if I could afford it.
I would get my tatas done. Not
Me too.
big, just like just lifted, something,
Hmm.
something.
Tatas. I'd get like my butt
Oh,
done.
I would get a booty. I
I'd
would
get a
get a
tummy
booty.
tuck. I'd get a mommy makeover, but I'm not a mom, so I don't
That's
know what
okay.
that is called.
That's okay. There's a lot of women that Tyler said hell no. Apparently he said is that
Apparently.
is that a hell no or a hell yeah?
I mean, he's sitting right across from me, so I expected to hear something when I said all that.
It is okay. That's a good point. That's a good point. How a lot of them look alike but are not related. That's a good point.
Like, what is oh god, I can't think of her name. The one, it's like I'm having a brain fart on names. Katy Perry and there's another celebrity. They look like they should be related. I don't know. I'm never gonna remember it.
Actually, Katy Perry was mentioned in when I did the research. I don't know if I put it in my notes, but there was something about Katy Perry, about how she actually died in like the 90s or something. Myself and Seth Rogen are lookalikes. Maybe he's my long lost dad. Seth Rogen's not even that much older than you, Tyler. How is he your father?
No, but it doesn't.
My mom hates Seth Rogen. I'm just letting you know. I don't know why. I love his movies. I love Seth Rogen, but she can't stand his laugh. His laugh like irks her. It's an ick.
Okay. I remembered who it was. It was Katy Perry and Zooey Deschanel.
Oh, I love Zooey Deschanel.
I love Zooey Deschanel too. Stephanie and I actually saw her in concert.
Oh my god, I'm jealous.
It was amazing, and I got in trouble for taking pictures, but that's beside the point.
Do you know for the longest time, because the boys love the movie Trolls, I did not know she was Lady Glitter Sparkle.
Oh, that's what it is.
I didn't even know she was in Trolls, to be honest.
She's one of the trolls in it, and she like completely changed her voice, and it was, I don't know, I fangirl over her. I think she's, God, I'm jealous. Next time, we're all three going to a concert, and if you see her, I'm coming, I'm third wheeling.
I love Zooey.
Oh,
Love Zooey.
her.
But anyway, she does, when you look at her, she does kind of resemble Katy Perry.
And I mean, the ones that I'm about to talk about, and Crystal knows some of them, it's not necessarily they're a clone, it's just people are so, like, hung up on the fact that they look like other people that they're like, it has to be a clone. Because, you know how conspiracy theorists out there are, they're just like, they're clinging on any hope that there's something weird and unusual out there, which there is, but a lot of this I was like, meh. Because I'm gonna use her as an example. I think she's stunning, but Kylie Jenner, she looks nothing like she did when she first came into the spotlight.
And she's never had plastic surgery.
Yeah, she says that. She says the way she gets those lips is her lip kit. All right, honey. Anyways, that's for another day. She's in one of Bethany's favorite movies. Yes, she is an Elf. I loved Zooey Deschanel in Elf.
I have a confession.
She's about to say she hasn't watched that.
No. I don't like Elf at all. Mostly because I saw it once. And then when I worked at Old Navy at Christmas time, they had it played in the back room in the like employee area on repeat. And so every single time you went back there, that was all that was playing. And I watched that movie probably 50 times. So I hate it now.
I can see that. It's like one of my Christmas favorites.
It shows it in the top. On the top.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
First, I've never watched The Simpsons, and now I hate Elf.
I know! We were recording last night, and I mentioned something about how one of the characters is like, I think his name's Ned Flanders or Ted Flanders. Anyways,
the character or the person in art?
No, the character. They have the same last name.
Okay.
And they're both religious, and I was talking about how funny that was, and she's like, I've never watched The Simpsons. And I was like, what?
I mean, I was never allowed to as a kid. Like, I was told that it was bad, and so I just never got a chance to watch it as an adult because it never appealed to me.
I can see like parents thinking
I don't know
Family
what the
Guy was
specs
bad
specific.
because like yeah, but like
I'm not hitting
Okay, but my
Simpsons.
grandparents and my mom were weird. Like, my grandparents would not let my mom watch Three's Company because it was two girls and a guy that lived together. Like, I don't
Oh,
understand.
that sounds like my grandparents.
I don't get it, but it's so
I
funny.
I wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter, even though I would sneak and read the books at school. But then my grandparents would watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer at night, and I'm like, oh, so I can't watch Harry Potter. And I can't read the books, but y'all can watch Buffy at night. And I know my granny only watches it because she liked Angel. I know she only liked looking at him.
Mhm.
I don't even know that actor's name, but I know I'm
I
like,
don't know his name, but he is the guy who played in Bones with Zoe Deschanel's sister.
oh yeah, I love that show. Yeah, I forget their sisters sometimes, but I mean they look
They look identical.
identical. Oh, King of the Hill, yeah, King of the Hill, yeah.
That was okay. That was another one that I didn't understand because my papa watched every single episode, and it could be so crude sometimes. And I was just like, but I can't watch The Simpsons.
They just
Or
out.
then there was like the show. Do you remember? I think it was Nickelodeon. It was Billy and Mandy, and there was like the little Grim Reaper.
Yes, I
Okay,
watched
I
that.
loved that
Mhm.
so much, and my mom would not let us watch it because it was about death. And I'm like, what the heck? If they just pick and choose.
Okay, okay, all right. Me and Crystal like this because we get to talk and we get to talk with chat and everything. It's not like when we record; it's just us. I mean, we like talking to each other, but it's cool when we have people in the chat to talk to. So let's actually get on to the celebrities. And I'm gonna start out with the crazy one. And I told Crystal this, I think last night, and she was kind of like freaked out by it, but we weren't really surprised. We're gonna start with Miley Cyrus.
I'm just read your mom's comment.
Oh my god, yes. Yes. She would watch all kind of ghost shows on TV, but when my mom would be like, I see ghosts in your house, she'd be like, no.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Yes, Beavis and Butthead was okay in my house too, but Simpsons was not. Oh my gosh.
I need TP for my bunghole. Yes.
Cornholio.
I don't understand. I mean, I can't say anything because there's some things I don't let my kids watch. There's some show on Cartoon Network called Uncle Grandpa, and no, it's no, no. All shows hated by parents was because some I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. Something, if it hits the church congregation that's not good for kids to watch, then all the parents are going to be like scrambling. Don't watch it.
Like when Pokemon cards weren't a thing. Like they were a thing, but you weren't supposed to have them because they were of the devil.
Mm-hmm. I still had them anyways, so I do what I
Yeah.
want. I do what I want. But anyways, Miley Cyrus, and we remember. I mean, she was Hannah Montana. I'm not even gonna front. I liked watching Hannah Montana.
Me too.
I really liked it. I thought it was a cute little show. It was fun, and I liked Miley Cyrus. We all know "Achy Breaky Heart," and we all know the moment when she like went off the rails. She started. She made Wrecking Ball. She cut all her hair off. She started smoking a lot of pot. But I mean, that's not weird to me. That's normal. But a lot of
But
people
like
say
Wrecking
that's
Ball
crazy.
was low key good though.
Oh, I still jam to it. I still jam to "Can't Stop, Won't Stop" or whatever that song is. A Party in the USA. That's when she wasn't crazy, but she was starting to get crazy. That's on my YouTube playlist. So.
So tell the good people what the conspiracy is about this because I'd never heard of it.
So the conspiracy is when Miley started going crazy. She started, and I don't really think it was crazy. She was under contract with Disney. She had been a child star. Her dad was famous. She had a lot of pressure. I think she just wanted to branch out and become her own identity. Well, This isn't the Illuminati, which some people will say Disney and the Illuminati are connected. They could be. This is Disney. Supposedly the allegation, and this is a pretty heavy allegation. They say that somebody from Disney, maybe a manager or somebody that worked maybe for the Hannah Montana franchise, took her out into the California desert, killed her, and then they took whatever they needed from her and they cloned her.
Are you in?
And got her to do what they wanted. She's still kind of doing what she wants, but I mean, today she's kind of calmed down, so I can see why people have that like mentality and why people could kind of believe this theory.
Yeah, you keep doing
But
your
also,
stuff,
that's
15
pretty crazy to think that if you're working for Disney and you're a Disney star and you don't do what they say, they're going to drive you out to the desert and just like execution style you. Which is basically what they said in their research. And like, I wish y'all could have seen my face when I read this. And then I told it to Crystal last night and she was like, say what now? Because like, they're wilding over at Disney. What? But I had to include that because I really like Miley, and
But
I
I
was
mean,
like,
okay, so chat, your mom was like Lindsay Lohan's clone get glitched, and Steph was like, so was Amanda Bynes. Think
mm-hmm,
about this. These are all child actresses and actors in general who were on Nickelodeon, Disney, all this kind of stuff. And they seemed completely normal until the one day they just like switched. And like,
mm-hmm.
now, logic does tell us it's probably the pressure and the fact that they are child stars, and that's not an easy thing to do. But, like, what if they're, like, not necessarily clones? What if they're, like, really advanced artificial intelligence?
I had that same thought, and even there's another theory because Avril Lavigne, I know you, I love Avril Lavigne. They say that she actually trigger warning for people listening and for those that are going to watch this on YouTube, stop now. So they say that Avril Lavigne, there's the first word I messed up. Anyways, committed suicide in the early 2000s, and they actually had her body double come in and take over her, named Melissa. And it was known that she had a body double for like when she didn't really feel like going out in the public. She looked identical. So I kind of was playing with that theory. And yes, robots or like some kind of AI, yeah. But like, what if these are just people that look exactly like our favorite celebrities or had plastic surgery to look like our favorite celebrities and are just taking over their lives? When either they pass
Yeah.
away or they start not doing what so they're supposed to do.
Because if you think about it, if you find someone that looks really, really close to a celebrity, I just don't see it being completely out of the realm of possibility that a plastic surgeon can put fillers or whatever in someone's face to change them to look really, really similar to that person, enough that it passes in a photo.
And I mean, like, there was somebody that was like, well, what about birthmarks and like stuff like that? Tattoos. There's tattoo artists that can make a tattoo that looks like an actual birthmark. So I mean, that's like, meh. There's literally nothing that tattoo artists, plastic surgeons, doctors, anybody can't do. So I mean, I was thinking about that too because a lot of this. Oh my god, my mom adds a little bit of spice to our chat.
Always the best kind.
Can you imagine though if Elvis is alive and he's just working a 9 to 5 job in some chapel in Vegas on the Strip?
What's hooked on the look?
Hooked on the. I had a friend of mine mention that to me today. I need to watch that, I guess.
I don't have Snapchat, so I don't. Like, can I watch it not on Snapchat?
I don't have Snapchat either. I thought it was on something else.
What's it about?
You can watch shows on Snapchat? Wow, I guess Snapchat.
That's how out of touch I am.
I got rid of Snapchat because I just post everything on Instagram, and I felt like it was the same when they came out with the stories or whatever.
Yeah,
I was
and
like,
now Instagram too, you can set stuff so like you can swipe up on your messages and it's just like Snapchat and your stuff disappears after they look at it.
crazy. Just create an account, don't interact with. I guess that's a good idea.
I mean, I could probably just log into my old one.
Oh, that's a good idea. I heard that, yeah. I heard actually earlier this day somebody was watching it in Discord, and I was like, that sounds exactly like what we're talking about tonight. Okay, so the next one, and this is this is another, well, this is, he's a little bit bigger than Miley. Sorry, Miley, I love you. But, the second one is Eminem. But
Not a shocker. Not a shocker.
not a shocker, but once again, all the allegations are just from the way he looks. That's not really like anything off the wall. Like when I'm thinking of a clone, I'm like, maybe they don't act a certain way because they forgot. They don't really know. They didn't live it like the original person did. But a lot of these are like all appearances, so it's like nothing really heavy to back it up. But supposedly, this is the Illuminati. This is not Disney. Disney spared Eminem, I guess, and the Illuminati took over.
By the way, I do not mean to interrupt, but the Hooked on the Look thing, you can also watch it on Instagram.
Oh, nice.
So you can just go to their IGTV. So thank you. I'm about to follow them, and I'm probably going to binge this all night long because the first thing that I see is Allegra Cole. And
shut up.
yes.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch that. Johnny Depp could have been one, but I don't remember seeing him when I did research for this. But there were so many. Like basically any celebrity out there, somebody had a theory about them being a clone or a lizard man or an alien or a shapeshifter. I think that's what they said, Katie. Yes, which I kind of believed that one, low key. I kind of believed that one. Because, like, I mean, I was kind of like, yeah, I think he died of a heart attack and they brought in a clone or a body double or something. Because
I'm still convinced.
Because that's, they did, you're right.
I would not put it up, across what North Korea would do.
Well, because they're like, they hold so much, not really power. Well, yeah, power. But, like, can you imagine if their leader, like, actually passed away?
Yes, it is Russell.
Yes.
Stephanie.
Yes. Hello, we have everybody here from both sides.
It's our families.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate you guys. But supposedly this was the Illuminati. The Illuminati actually tried to get Eminem to join their society or organization, whatever the heck you call them. And he said no. Which, good for Eminem. Kudos to you. Because that would be kind of scary if I had somebody from them coming up to me and they were like, join or we kill you. And you're like, no. I like life. But supposedly when he entered rehab in 2005, because he did have some personal demons he was fighting, instead of entering rehab, he did go to the rehab, but they killed him off and then cloned him.
Okay, so my theory with this, or not my theory, my thought process with this, okay, that's cool, but like, I guess, okay, this is where I need to back up to. What was his career like prior to 2005, and what was his career like post 2005? Because what would be the benefit of them trying to like kill him and replace him with a clone that will do everything that they ask him to do if he's not even going to be that successful afterwards? Not saying that he's not successful, because he really is, but like
he kind of did. He did kind of die off. He didn't do anything for a few years, but they said that's because the clone was getting used to everything, and that's why he's kind of coming back now. So I mean, they make it very believable. And yes, I have seen that Jim Carrey interview, and it was very
I
weird.
have not. What are y'all talking about?
Are you talking about the one where he's acting very strange? And he's talking about, I think he was talking about the Illuminati or something. And how a bunch of people in Hollywood are not themselves. And
That guy was hitting a little bit stronger than he was supposed to.
yeah, he does produce now. So I mean, like, but also a lot of things that they were saying is like his hairline is different. It's receding. He just looks different. He looks older. I'm like, people, he's 48 years old. He's almost 50 years old.
I thought he was older than that.
Yes, I would.
Yeah, you can put links in the message box, or you can do a thing called whisper and whisper it to us.
It's like
But
a
I would
message.
just put it in the main chat.
Mhm.
That way everyone else can see it
Everyone
too.
see. I'm pretty sure I know what interview you're talking about though, because I was like, whoa. But yeah, like that's why I say a lot of this is like just people talking about their appearances changing. But I mean, not all celebrities get a ton of plastic surgery done. We age. We're human. We're gonna start looking a little different. Our hair is probably gonna recede. It's probably gonna fall out. Probably gonna get wrinkles. We're gonna look super tired and beat up because we're aging. And he's in the music industry, which is super stressful. So that I don't know. I'm gonna say for this one, I was kind of on the no side of it.
The next one is the craziest, though.
I do, and I told Crystal about this earlier. This was like the latest one that I found.
Okay, and I will say this one was crazy too, because when you told me about it, I happened to be on this person's Instagram page.
Ooh.
And like I was like
Ooh.
zooming in on it and being like, "Oh my gosh,
Coincidences.
Yes, it was kind of a crazy coincidence.
Okay, so this is the crazy one, and I'm gonna end with this one, and then I'm gonna pass it over to Crystal for the stuff that she did. There's a few videos and things that she looked up. But this is definitely the craziest one, and it is Taylor Swift, America's sweetheart. Don't we all love T-Swizzle? I know I love her. I like her. She's. I hate even saying this. She is my husband's hall pass. He loves him some Taylor Swift.
Apparently, it's my husband's too. So what can I say?
I love you, Taylor, but watch yourself, girl. Cause
right.
Anyways.
2008 Taylor Swift.
There he goes.
He's just chiming in. Whenever I start talking about, I've been talking this whole time, and when I mentioned Taylor Swift, exactly. Anyways,
but it's just like once you get into that point.
Okay, it's not crazy that we're talking about clones. The crazy part is who she was supposedly cloned for, and we're gonna have to post a picture somewhere because it is eerie. And when I say eerie, how similar these people look, it is give me the goosebumps when I found this.
I haven't even looked this other person up.
I looked a little bit up on her and I put a little info, but she is supposedly cloned from somebody that's actually still alive. And her name is Zena LaVey. And she was actually a Satanist high priestess. And they look so. If you guys wanna, I'm gonna type in the chat how you spell her name. If you guys wanna go look her up.
Yeah, just look her up and then go to images. And that's all you have to do.
Zena LaVey, and how similar. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but that's how I'm pronouncing it here. The picture that they had side by side of them when they were the exact same age in their 20s, which Taylor Swift was, I think, in her late 20s, early 30s. She's a little bit older than us.
I think she's like 33 or something like that.
Yeah. Yes, Antoine LaVey's daughter. It literally gave me goosebumps. I got the goosebumpies. Because the picture of them side by side, that they look. I think out of all of them, this is the one that I could probably believe the most. But she's still alive, which is the weird part. But Zena's father, Anton, or Antoine, either or, and her mother, Diane, founded the Church of Satan in California. I think it was San Francisco, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And she grew up there. Like I said, she was a high priestess. She was very much in a part of the church. But in 1990, she left the church completely and resigned all positions. And she actually came out and made a formal statement that she did not agree with Satanism or anything to do with it, in that her father was very controlling and she never believed in it, but she was raised to just say that it was real and that's how she felt. So kudos to her for leaving.
We gotta Google that.
There's doppelgangers out there. So my grandparents swear that they have seen me places, and I'm like states away. They said there's like a girl in the town that they live in that looks just like me, which is creepy.
So, weird thing, Nikki keeps telling me there's a guy that looks just like Tyler that lives in Klamath Falls with hers. And she's like, she sees him at the taco place, she sees him at the gym, at the bank, and she just keeps running into him. And every time she sees him, she can't get her phone out fast enough to take a picture because, like, she has almost said Tyler and, like, asked if it was Tyler because it looks that much like him. So I told her next month when we go see her, I need her to like go everywhere in town with her because I need to see this person. So I'm excited.
Ooh, that's crazy. But I mean, there's like what 4 billion of us on the earth. What's the odds that somebody's gonna at least look a little bit like us or something?
Yes.
Oh yeah, my mom swears there's this guy that works at Burger King back home that looks like Zach. And I'm like, this is weird. This is creepy. But the part about this was weird. She left the church in 1990, and Taylor Swift was born in 1989, so that's a year's difference. And like I said, Zena's actually still alive today, so this was like the first cloning incident that I researched where the person was still alive, not like passed away, or they said passed away, or something happened to them.
But this kind of cloning makes more sense than the one that we talked about with Kid Boo.
Because she grew up.
Because she grew up. With Kid Boo, it was like these clones were here one day, and then they were just a normal person, and they just appeared as a fully grown human being.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this would make sense because she would have had to have been born and then grown up.
Well, the theory is that she had started showing signs of wanting to leave the church, and since she was a high priestess, that's a pretty, big role to play inside the church. And it was, the idea is that her dad got in touch with somebody in California, and they believe that cloning originates mainly from California. I don't know why. But that's where a lot of it seems to happen, and a lot of the people live.
This light super bright all of a sudden. I'm turning that one off. Sorry.
It said that her dad got in contact with somebody in a year prior, maybe took her DNA or something, which doesn't make sense because when me and Crystal talked about Kid Boo, he said the key to cloning is the skull. Well, how could they have cloned Taylor Swift out of Xena if Xena is still alive and has never had any surgery or anything on her skull? So that kind of flip-flops, unless they're trying to say there's different ways of cloning, which, that wouldn't be surprising. I'm sure there's probably more than one way. Okay, and I will say, when I fell down the rabbit hole, this is off topic. They are saying that there's a doctor in Japan and China that celebrities go to have their pets cloned when they pass away.
Which is definitely a thing, because I found multiple videos of cloned pets, like cats and dogs, that people would just pay thousands of dollars to have their pet.
Which, I mean, that's insane that there's technology out there, but I did fall down that rabbit hole when I was trying to look up other people. And the last one I'm going to talk about, I didn't write it in my notes, but it was so like outlandish, I just remember it off the top of my head, and then I'll pass it over to Crystal to finish up for us, is Beyonce. I'm going to say it. I'm not a Beyonce fan.
Me either.
I think she's overrated. I've gotten a lot of fights with people for saying this a lot. And I shouldn't say fights. That's dramatic. Arguments.
Look, is she talented?
Yes. She's stunning.
She's gorgeous. She's so talented. I just don't like her music.
I like her music, but also her concerts are one of the most expensive to buy tickets. I've had friends pay $1,000 for one ticket for a 2-hour concert.
Absolutely not.
Which, I'm not hating you. If that's what you want to spend your money on, that is perfectly fine. But no, ma'am.
Not for me. Not for me at all.
I think the most expensive I spent for a concert was $150.
Yeah, it sounds about right. And I couldn't tell you who it was, but that's about probably the most I've ever spent.
I saw A Theory of a Dead Man. I don't know if you know that group.
Yes, I do.
I saw them with my mom. But yeah, they say Beyonce actually died in...
I just remembered who mine was.
What was it?
It was Duran.
Oh.
We had floor seats for me and my mom to see Duran, and we paid almost like $200 a piece.
That's not bad though.
It really wasn't that bad. It was in Lafayette.
That's for 2 tickets though. Beyonce 1 ticket, $1,000. And that's
absolutely not.
And that's like in the middle. That's not even like front stage.
Yeah, Stephanie, actually that's probably true too. When Stephanie and I went to Austin City Limits, that was quite expensive, but yeah, it is multiple concerts.
Well, yeah, you're getting bang for your buck, but like to go see one artist. But anyways, the theory is that she actually passed away in a car accident in 2000. And she was so talented and she was up on the rising that they had already taken some of her DNA or whatever they needed to clone her prior to her passing, and supposedly she passed away. They say car crash, but there really wasn't any like solid like truth to that, because of course they don't want people to know that she died. But it's thought that it was a car wreck, and then they cloned her, and now she is one of the head leaders of the Illuminati.
Did you see the theory that her sister, I can't think of her sister's name, whatever her sister's name is, Solange.
I was about to say Simone, and I know that's not right.
That Solange is actually her daughter, and that multiple people that are like cousins or really close to the family have corroborated that.
No, it's
because they say that that's another theory. There's another conspiracy theory out here on her. They actually say that Beyonce is a lot older than she says she is.
Mm-hmm.
So that would make sense on how she could be her daughter. Or even she could have had her young. But I mean, they say she is older than they say, because she's been around a while. I think like 2000... Like when around when she supposedly died in a car crash was when she was just becoming popular, and they were like, wow.
Yeah.
They were like, wow, this is so tragic. And that's when they decided to clone her, and she is now there's a lot of allegations, there's a lot of theories out there that people say she is one of the head women of the Illuminati next to Hillary Clinton. And this is where like Pizzagate and stuff come from. And the theory is that basically all this cloning is happening slowly. They're waiting for celebrities to die or just kill them to clone them. so they can make the Illuminati even stronger and have more power over the people, which is kind of scary to think about. That,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, that is all I have for you guys. If Crystal wants to add anything else that she did,
I certainly can. So my stuff that I kind of found mostly kind of centered on human cloning that is happening now that people are a little bit more public about. For the most part, cloning and on the human level, apparently it can happen. Like apparently they can do it now, but it's more of like a moral thing because if they should do it, I know a lot of scientists say that they want to do it for um, cloning for like stem cells. So
mm-hmm.
if if something happened to me and I needed new stem cells, and it's really unlikely that I'm going to find somebody that has the exact same one as me. But if they were able to clone me, they could duplicate my stem cells and have it replaced. So, like, from a medical standpoint, that makes a lot of sense. And that's a super good idea. But to make a whole other person that's
Mm-hmm.
you, it's a little questionable. So, I found a video of a doctor who claims that he has successfully cloned human embryos, and it's from Sky News, which is kind of like an Australian, um, UK thing, but I don't really know if it's one of those like satirical sites or if it's not satirical, but like fake
Satire, like,
news.
yeah.
I mean, kind of sites. I've looked into it, but I really am not. I didn't spend that much time looking at it. But the video that they produced was actually pretty legit and made a lot of sense. And the guy checks out. I did Google the doctor. But his name is Dr. Davos, and his lab is at an undisclosed location in the middle of Asia or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But he basically what he does is he takes a embryo or like an egg from a woman and strips out all of the genetic material, and then he takes um, a man genetic material from like his sperm, but like his own genetic material, not what he would pass down, and duplicates that or something and puts that into the egg so that it's a genetic copy of the man. And he apparently has implanted 11 of these embryos into 4 different women, but none of them have been successful yet. Like, none of them have been successfully carried to term. So there's that. I think it's very strange. And people are paying like thousands of dollars to do it. And one, there was an interview from a guy who knew that he wasn't going to have any children because he was infertile. So he was paying this doctor to find a way to clone himself so that he could have children. In other cases, it was people who have lost children and they want to clone their dead children. I mean, it feels really weird to say that, but that's what they want to do. Uh,
I mean, as a parent, I can see that, but like how I keep thinking about this all this cloning is, yeah, you'll be able to see your loved one or your person like physically, but it's not really gonna be that person anymore.
and I agree. And so, okay, so I just remembered and kind of looked at my notes of how he did the human cloning. What he would do is he would take an egg, the woman's egg, and take out the nucleus, which supposedly houses 99.9% of her genetic material. And then he takes a skin cell from a man, like just like a regular skin cell, and then takes the I guess, the nucleus of that, the skin cell, and then extracts the genetic material and puts that into the empty egg. And this is where it gets kind of weird to me, but he says he gives it a jolt of electricity.
Okay, so Frankenstein.
Yes, he Frankensteins this, and that's enough charge to have the embryo form into a ball of cells in a couple of days. And then he implants that into a woman's uterus.
Hmm. See, that I could believe. But, like, when we talked about Kid Buu, that's...
Because, see, I
That's
feel
not-
like what we're talking about here is a lot more of science versus science fiction. Because, I mean, so if any of y'all haven't listened to the episode on Kid Buu, I feel like we should give you a kind of a
Yeah, we keep
background.
mentioning it, yeah.
He was a rapper who claims that he is the second generation clone. And his name comes after a Dragon Ball Z character and named Majin Buu. And there's another one called Buu, but Majin Buu is like the ultimate form of Majin Buu. And so that's why he took this name. And then he has the Majin symbol like tattooed right on his forehead, which is where he says is how cloning works, is that there is right behind your skull is the key to cloning.
Mm-hmm.
And so he like tattooed that on his head, I guess just as a symbol of that. And everyone thinks he's crazy. I've done more research since the podcast on him. Apparently this guy has been in the past arrested for endangering a minor. He is just very sketchy of a person, but he still claims to be a clone and that there's other rappers that are clones, and he's basically making his name known by claiming to be a clone.
And he's claimed that there's a lot of other celebrities out there that are clones. And the only one he's mentioned so far is Gucci Mane, which we've mentioned him on the episode as well. But Gucci Mane's like, nah, dude. No, you keep your craziness over there to yourself. I'm me over here.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
What he says about clones feels more science fiction to me, and it feels more like if anybody was lying, I would say he's lying about the whole thing. Whereas some of these other people that are using and explaining it with more science, I completely understand and I completely get that a lot more than.
And they have emotion behind it. Him, it kind of felt like, I'm an up and coming rapper. Let's see if I can get more publicity for myself. But try to act humble, because in all of his interviews he's like, I'm not doing this for attention. Yeah. But then he goes on to be like, yeah, catch me from every angle and let me tell you XYZ on why I'm a rapper now.
Like there was one interview I watched with him, and somebody was like, so where were you born? Because I've seen that you were born in Florida, you were born in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Like, where at? And he was like, well, I was born in New Jersey, but this clone body was born in Canada. And I'm like.
And then he says he moved down to Florida because that's where his parents live now or something. I don't know. It was like all over the place. I'm like, which is it, dude? Like, you should be able to remember that part.
I don't know. His music is not that great, so to be honest. So I think he's using the clone thing as a way to.
Well, Gucci, they said he died in prison because, he did do, I think 2 years in prison. And then they said that something happened while he was in prison and he died, and they took his DNA and cloned him. And then when they released him, it was the clone. That's supposedly what Kid Buu said, but Gucci was like, no, he's crazy, don't listen to him. Nothing happened to me.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, okay, well, which is it? Are you guys cloned? Or aren't you? Because for the people out there that are probably trying to get this technology out there, some of these stories are making us be like, No, it's not very. It's not very trustworthy.
Hmm. I 100% think that he wants clout.
Oh, he
Like,
wanted attention. Yeah, yeah. Cause like in the other ones, like they have, like they want to see their loved ones again. They want to see their pets again. Like it's motivated. They want to have children, or they just want to. They're scientists that want the world to know that they can perform this. But he was like, it just felt
Hey,
like
what's up, man?
I'm a rapper. Come listen to my
mhm,
music. Oh, by the way, I'm a clone. Isn't that crazy?
Thanks for the
yeah.
XP, guys.
So the only other really
The genie came
like
in
big
clutch.
research that I had was really not necessarily much of research. It was just me looking at
Wrong one.
what people personally feel about clones, and it seems like there's multiple groups of people who feel different ways, but there is this human population control aspect to it where people are saying kind of saying we don't need to bring any more people into the population, and so they're kind of using it as like an asexual reproduction
I think that's AT.
Mm-hmm.
type of thought
He
process of
jumped in. He's
saying,
on the
okay,
the other
so
ship
instead
station.
of you having to get with someone and have a baby, or instead of having to use IVF or an IUI to have a baby, all you'll have to do is
I swear I
asexually,
think
as a
that's AT.
woman, all you'll do is asexually reproduce yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if a man
He's
wants
not
to
in land. He's like
reproduce,
at
they just donate their genetic material, and then a woman
the
will
steel
carry that
world.
clone.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll just one for one reproduce yourself.
Which basically just sounds like surrogacy and like IVF, but just like
Yeah,
it's like literally you,
Fucking 8-year-old.
which is
but that
kind
is
of
so
weird.
weird to me
Yeah.
because in a kind of enlightenment kind of way of thinking, what makes us so privileged to think that we are the
You
generation
understand when it's time.
that gets to remain and always be?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, and I think a big part of this that
Check
I
in with your
think
Uncle Jay.
is, for lack of a better word, stupid, is that this cloning, the way everyone is talking about it, it is not, well, I don't know, except for like the celebrities, because the celebrity stuff, it's different. But it seems like every time
What do you
we
mean?
talk about it, it
So I
is like
had
every time someone is born or a clone is made, they're starting over from scratch. Like they're just a brand new
auto reset.
Person.
soul,
Yeah.
a brand new person.
Purple
Yeah.
jeans
So
like
what's
that.
the
Mm-hmm.
purpose of that?
Cherry
If like
purple
we are going to
Cherry Jam is purple.
asexually reproduce and produce ourselves back into the world,
It's not
wouldn't it be
us.
better if we carried on the same
I have.
knowledge?
I
Like
guess I have four
if
pieces.
I died at 90 and I took the same knowledge that I had at 90 and the same brain I had at 90 and put it into a, I don't know, a body that was artificially grown to 20 years old, I guess, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine what a 90-year-old with that knowledge could do in a 20-year-old's body for another 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, science is going to be better and knowledge in general is going to be better, but that's not what it sounds like we're doing. It sounds like we're just cloning for the sake of cloning.
Just to do it, just to say, now again, I guess it's probably a race. It's probably a race between the different countries, like who can do it first. Just like when we went to the moon, like we better be the first to do it, or
But it's like
yeah,
how, like what Steph said, like they will always make us more comfortable with it by saying that it's a medical thing, but they're never going to use it for good. Think about how many things that people made that were supposed to be good that have turned out to destroy the world. I mean, we were just talking about in this household, we were just talking about Oppenheimer and the atomic bomb and how he immediately regretted it. And I was like, yeah, because he had a freaking genius invention of how to use elements to create a massive explosion, and then we use it to kill thousands of people. Like,
Hiroshima.
yeah,
I
like it's
mean,
I saw it on Beth that he just popped up all red. I was like,
it to me, it's proof that we can never have a good thing because someone's always going to use it for the destruction
I seen the one with
I
of a pop.
I honestly, I mean,
60 attack.
I can't think of a reason why
Yeah.
we would need cloning.
Oh yeah, they did
Like
that one.
100%, just being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, because we don't know. We don't know if those memories are gonna pass on. That knowledge, that intuition. It could be a completely new person, and who knows if it's gonna be a good person or somebody that even knows half of the stuff that your original self knew. And it's
I mean,
just,
yeah,
it's a gamble. It's a gamble.
I mean, but see, I'm really conflicted because like the part of me is just also like it would be beneficial if we had cloning of organs, body parts, like your mom just said.
I could see that.
Because what if someone needs a new heart or a new valve on their heart, or their gallbladder, or you know, a kidney, a liver, something you can't really live without? How nice would it be to take your skin cells or take a piece of that organ and duplicate it? Which, I mean, science is doing right now. They were trying to do that now. But, how awesome would that be?
It's like 5. It's like
It
no, it's 5.
is, but
It's
like,
5.
how could we
It
do
depends on
that
which one
without
you're doing. Like,
making
the
an
first one is
entire?
80,
I mean,
to do,
like
and then once you get to booster level,
It,
it's
it would
like
it
it
would
would be
be
tricky.
a moral thing. It would be something that people would have to be,
it's like 5
unfortunately, would
minutes,
have
and
to
then
be
once you get
regulated. There would have to be laws in place, and it would have to, you know, be against the law to create a human body, but it would be, you know, okay to create body parts, or I don't know. But what's preventing the rich from having an entire body grown specifically for them and held just for the off chance that they lose a finger, or they, you know, have a bad kidney,
I
they have a
just
spare.
I just feel like all the religious groups would not be okay with that though.
did refresh my quick.
Oh, without a doubt, religious groups wouldn't, because
We're playing
it
God.
takes you're playing God at that point, and I think a lot of it too is you're losing the.
Yes, I have seen that movie.
I have too. I do like it. It takes away the thought process that the soul is connected to the body, and that without a soul, the body exists, or
Which
like the
is
body can exist without a soul.
which is people that practice Buddhism and Hinduism don't kill anything, not even insects or bugs, because they believe even an ant has a soul.
Yeah.
So
And that's a huge question: is if we created this whole new body, would it have a soul? Like, but at that point, how did we artificially create a soul?
it's not really I don't know. I go back and forth on this. It's not. I don't know.
But at the same time, we're not artificially creating anything. All we're doing is replicating genetic material that's already made. We're just replicating it. So I don't know.
It would basically be a live cadaver, like how people use cadavers to study the human body. Except this would be technically a living person, but we would just be harvesting what others need from it. But also the other side of that would be, what would be the point of even cloning if, say, God or whatever people believe in
Go upstairs, Alex.
wanted, I mean, they had a destiny to, say, pass away. That was their destiny. So that's why I could see where people would be like, what's the point of even going through this whole process of cloning when these people are meant to not, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you got an organ from the donor list, you got it. If you didn't, that was your destiny, which sucks. It's terrible, but I mean, that's a big decision for us to make as humans.
And I honestly think that looking at some of the science that we have now, I don't think that human cloning is completely out of the realms of what's possible today. I think it's more of the concept that humans are not prepared for what human cloning looks like right now. And I'm not saying what the statement I'm about to say in a negative way, but I never want to live in a world where spiritualism and religion is not a thing. Let me just preface that. I think they all have their good in the world, and everyone, some people need it, some people don't, but I think it's a good thing that it's there. But I think that the world right now, there's too big of a divide between this religious viewpoint that we shouldn't touch anything and that we shouldn't science, not necessarily that science isn't real, but science doesn't hold the answers and science is to be questioned.
Mm-hmm.
And the actual science that people are doing with facts and that have documented evidence that people are doing behind the scenes. I think there's such a huge divide between that it's not, it would cause more panic and cause more of a divide if we just told everybody about every scientific breakthrough that has happened. That,
I agree.
It would cause panic. I know it would. I mean, think about, well, this is a controversial one, and I'm sorry, but think about vaccines. I mean, people are panicking over the COVID vaccine. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring this up, and I'm not trying to be political. I'm trying to make a point. Feel how you want to feel about it, but people panic over that, and there's a huge divide of people who absolutely do not want it because they feel like whatever they feel like, be it they don't want Bill Gates in their bloodstream, or they just don't like how fast it got produced, whatever. And then you have another big group of people who are like, look, the science lines up, the science is this, here's science. Like, do you believe science? Here it is. And I think, to me, when I see that is how I connect it with the whole concept of human cloning and this advanced technology that we probably have right now and just can't actually release to the general public. And that was my rant for tonight.
I'm gonna go with Crystal, because if I say my opinion on it, I'm probably gonna have some people writing in to yell at me because I'm opposite of Crystal, but we love each other, so we coexist. She doesn't judge me, and I don't judge her.
I want to know your opinion, now.
I don't care if people get the vaccine, but
no,
I do think it was a little too quick, and I would be a little uncertain, not necessarily for myself, but my children.
No, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just I'm not talking about people who have genuine concerns about.
But I don't care. I know people personally that have gotten it. They tried to have Zach get it, and he said hell no. So,
I'm talking about people who legitimately feel like I'm trying to say this.
I know the people you're talking about, and that's what we agree on. I'm just slightly different.
Those people, while they may be good people into their cores, are the ones who I feel like
they're not
are not ready for the amount of technology that we have.
They're not, because they're the ones that are hard stuck on nothing in our body. If God wanted it, it would happen, and let it be, and that's fine, and you do you. But I'm also not. I mean, if there's people that want to say get the vaccine, or they want to do this cloning, and they want to believe certain ways, I am a do whatever you want, as long as it does not personally affect me and mine.
That is fine. And yes, Mom, I'm going to call you Mom because I always call everyone else's Mom. It has been in the works for a long time because they basically just backed up a vaccine that was created for other variants of COVID and then just changed it for this one. But yes, just to answer that one. But I agree. I'm the same way. You do your business as long as you don't hurt me. You can run around naked.
You can,
I don't care.
you can stand outside of McDonald's and scream about veganism. You do
Go
you.
for it. You do you. Like, you have the full right. But if you attack my family, if you attack my loved one, if you attack somebody who,
we have freedom of speech here, which is exactly how we're here on Twitch tonight, talking about how celebrities clone themselves and their dogs.
Yes.
So
I love everybody, but I just don't think the world is ready for cloning.
I don't either. Or even if it's even out there, I mean, there's still not like, I mean, there's proof, but like, it's still so new that so many people still don't really believe in it. Or like you said, they're still afraid to even think about believing in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not too long ago, like, a lot of the religious groups were freaking out about IVF and all the other things because...
I mean, they still do. Like, it's a huge thing in the pro-life movement that IVF is a horrible thing. And it's hard for me to justify that because I think everybody who wants a baby should deserve one.
I should clarify, my mom is talking about a dog in the chat, not a family member. That she loved more than me and my brother, her actual children.
I was actually wondering about that because I read it and I was like, I should have called Danny. I'm like, well,
no,
I mean, I don't.
She loved that dog. We had her for like 15 years. And she would call me and my brother by that dog's name.
What's that fucking word?
How does that make sense? How does that make sense? It doesn't. So my mom would...
Did she have her before y'all were born?
No. Well, before Eli, yeah. Like a year before Eli was born. 2 years. But I was like 8 when we got her. Like 7 or 8. And I was like 25 when she passed. 24. It was like 2 years ago.
Oh.
But yeah, she was an old lady. All her teeth fell out. All her teeth fell out. She was just old.
Poor baby.
And apparently I look like an old toothless dog. My mom would... my mom would be like, come here! And I'd be like...
It's not me.
Mom. What? And
I think that's a mom thing, though.
yeah.
How many times have you called Alex Joe and Joe Alex?
All the time. I call them Zach.
There you go.
2. He is the biggest. He is my 3rd child. He's my oldest child. I have 3 children. And I classify him as one.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
But that is all that I have, unless you have anything else to add.
I do not.
I think this is our longest Twitch stream.
No, our longest one was our first one when the boys were on there.
Oh my god. Well, that doesn't count because they talked like half of it over us, so.
I told them they just needed their own.
They need their own podcast, really, of them just talking about everything. But I guess we should end with I think we've kind of agreed upon
Oh my God, he did
we're
it.
gonna do one Twitch stream a month, unless we can find more time to do another one. So this was obviously February's. So if you guys have an idea of what you would like us to talk about in March's Twitch stream, let us know in the chat. Or we have our socials linked at the bottom. You can message us on Twitter, or you can message us on Instagram. And if you don't follow our Instagram, head over and follow it. We are literally just shy of hitting 100 followers on Instagram.
And the topics do not have to be like
It doesn't have to be
paranormal, or it can be whatever. It can be a true crime one you want us to talk about. It could be,
anything.
you could pick a topic that you just think is cool and you want us to know more about. It literally doesn't matter.
A paranormal. It could be like me and Crystal were thinking of topics last night, and she was like, "What if we just talk about like an item that's haunted, like a haunted lamp?" I know that's probably not a thing, but
Hey, I bet if we Google it enough, we could find it.
But if there's any type of, like, literally tonight's Twitch stream came from one of my friends talking to me and asking me if I knew who Kid Boo was. And I was like, what? And I literally ran to YouTube and looked up Kid Boo, and I was like, Crystal, we're talking about cloning.
Oh no, because
There are celebrities out there that are cloning, and Disney is driving them out to the desert and killing them.
I would be avoiding paranormal stuff too, because your life has been a little crazy.
The wood chipper murder? I've never heard of that.
Neither have I, but I'm very intrigued.
Ooh, I can write that down in my notes. Going once, going twice. I kind of want that to be next month's Twitch stream, because now I'm giddy.
You're giddy with excitement over someone being pushed into a wood chipper?
I never said that I was sane. I never once. I have been truthful. I've been honest. Things that I find exciting, people probably go to therapy for, and I probably should too. But it's expensive.
Yeah, it is. Therapy's expensive, but it is a good thing.
Yes, we talk about it often on the podcast.
We do. I was just thinking about that. We talk about going to therapy a lot. That's very healthy of us, and now we need a BetterHelp sponsorship.
Yes.
Because then we would get free therapy, wouldn't we?
Oh.
I'd hope.
Free antidepressants. Anyways, oh, thank you for that, though. I'm literally about to put my handy dandy notebook out and write that down. So, all right, it's a done deal. We have next month's stream category, and I'm excited. This was fun. I had fun.
Me too. I always have fun.
It was crazy, our last stream, because I did not even think... Until Crystal brought it to my attention, I didn't even know that missing people correlated with cave systems in the national parks. And I knew national parks are kind of weird because they're like their own
Governments.
people, like Dr. Phil. Yeah, oh my god, if Dr. Phil sponsored us. Like, but that's funny. That's like reality TV therapy. Like, Cash Me Outside girl.
God, that was on Dr. Phil.
Yes, that's where she first...
God, that feels like it was so long ago.
Her mom, I think her mom knew what she was doing, taking her on there.
Oh,
but she was wild. I mean, she's still...
Cash Me Outside.
How about that?
How about that?
Anyway.
Oh, it's such a hot mess. But okay, guys, well, we will let you get back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Yes. And we're going to write that down. We're going to start researching. Me and Chris are already doing so much research. I mean, we have like 2 months of podcasts planned out already. So
we have to record quickly because I'm going on vacation a couple of weeks.
She's going to go live her best life, and I'm going to live through her and Tyler. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming and watching. Thank you so much for the follow. We really appreciate you. And coming and hang out with us. This was awesome. But yeah, until next time, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
That's on you.